on the night of October 14th. A 911 call came in that no one in that dispatch center would ever forget. The caller's name was Sarah Mitchell. She was 28 years old. She lived alone in a small house on Maple Drive in Columbus, Ohio. And on that night, she was not alone. At 11:47 p.m., she dialed 911. What the operator heard in the background of that call ended the case before it even began. Who was Sarah? Sarah was a kindergarten teacher. She had lived in Columbus for 3 years. Her neighbors described her as kind, quiet, always smiling. She had no enemies, no criminal history, no reason for anyone to want to harm her. So when her friend Maya tried to call her at 11:30 that night and got no answer, she thought nothing of it. After all, Sarah often went to bed early. What Maya didn't know was that 17 minutes later, Sarah would be fighting for her life. Let's go back to the beginning of that evening. Sarah had finished work at 3:30, stopped at Kroger on the way home, and was settling in for a quiet evening. She made dinner, graded some papers, called her mother at 8 p.m. By 10 p.m. she was reading in bed. Everything was normal. Until it wasn't. At 11:30 p.m. Sarah heard a noise from downstairs. A sound she couldn't immediately place. She told herself it was the wind, or the house settling. Old houses made noise. That was all. But then she heard it again. This time, there was no explaining it away. Someone was in her house. Sarah ran back to her bedroom, locked the door, and dialed 911. Her hands were shaking so badly she almost dropped the phone. The call connected at 11:47 and 32 seconds. Dispatcher David Reyes would later say, and I quote, "From the first second, I knew this wasn't a prank." Sarah whispered her address first. She had the presence of mind to do that. Then she said 7 words that made Reyes sit up straight in his chair. She said, "He's already inside. He's been here for hours. He's been here for hours." Think about that for a second. While Sarah was cooking dinner, he was there. While she was grading papers, he was there. While she slept, he was there. Dispatcher Reyes kept his voice steady. He asked Sarah to stay quiet, stay hidden, and stay on the line. Then, at 11:48 and 14 seconds, Reyes heard it. In the background of the call, a voice. Not Sarah's voice. A man's voice. "Oh, come." Almost gentle. And the words he said, the exact words, are what ended everything. The man said, clearly, calmly into the room, "Sarah, I know you called them. I've been watching you all evening." He knew. He knew she had called 911. He had been watching her the entire night. 3 police units were dispatched to Maple Drive at 11:49 p.m. Officers arrived at 11:52 p.m., 5 minutes after Sarah made the call. They found the back door open. They entered with weapons drawn. They found him in the living room, sitting on her couch, calmly, like he belonged there. Upstairs, Sarah was still on the line with Reyes. He told her, "Sarah, you're safe. They have him." Sarah Mitchell cried for 4 minutes straight before she could speak. The man's name was Derek Holloway. He was 34 years old, and he had never met Sarah Mitchell before in his life. He had found her through social media. He had followed her for 11 days before that night. He had entered her house 3 days prior, while she was at school. He had entered her house 3 days prior, while she was at school. Detectives found a journal in his apartment. 141 pages of detailed observations about Sarah. Derek Holloway was charged with breaking and entering, criminal trespass, and stalking. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Sarah Mitchell took 3 weeks off work after that night. She moved to a new apartment. She changed her social media settings to private. And dispatcher David Reyes received a commendation from the Columbus Police Department for his handling of the call. But here's the thing about this story that I can't stop thinking about. Sarah didn't know he was there, but he told her she was safe because she called. If she had hesitated, even 10 more seconds, the story might have ended very differently. She called. And that call, those 7 words, is what saved her life. Stay safe out there. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where something feels wrong, trust that feeling. Make the call.